Thanks,
讲一点华语啊，
华语华语。
Speak Tamil for us.
German，那没有说
Now President Professor Dr. George and President French, Secretary Honorary Secretary Monica, Major Path Fraternity, brothers and sisters, happy evening. Thank you. I will keep it very short, 5 minutes.
Wait. Mic.
那个麦，
No, who's your mic?
不需要麦。
Who's your mic?
已经啦。
When Prof Chong, 够大声啊 ，loud enough 啊。
No, not enough.
Not for the mic.
Not so loud.
I'm very carefree. When he called me about 10 days ago and asked me to come and say something, I've been thinking what to say. True enough, what he said, he and I, we have been practicing for 40 years, 40 long years, and I myself am getting tired. So we led the fight during COVID, and on hindsight, we are proud to say that we were right. Kai KJ, you were wrong. Tan Sri Noijam, you were wrong. Screw you. Yeah? People are suffering. Like what Prof Chong just said, dementia, cancer. What we said, there is going to be an onslaught of our immune system, our defense mechanism. We wanted to use the same method. We cautioned the government. They didn't listen. The big pharma engaged the individual to attack us when we were arguing. I myself led the doctors group, the Muffin group, the Saham group. We naturopath, NAM, and of course Society of Natural Health Minister. We were the leader. I represent NAM at that time, leading the doctors group, and we challenged science. Tan Sri Noor Hisham, the ministers at that time, and on hindsight now, we were right all the while. Excess death is climbing. After all the shots were given, the third shot, fourth shot, excess death from N2022. After the third shot, excess death went up. Not just Malaysia, Singapore, Japan, the whole world, excess death. Infertility rate shot up. Cancer rate shot up. Cardiovascular disease, cardiomyositis for teenage boys, girls less risky. Teenage boys, which was close to zero, impossible to get those days, now after this, shut up. Professional football player, marathon player, professional who are tip-top health, pilots who are extremely fit, one by one succumb.
Yeah.
These are all unthinkable, impossible, should not. If you think about logic with God Almighty's creation, is so perfect, and you are in tip-top health and in competing at such Olympic level, you can collapse and die, which seldom happened before and now happen. It should at least open eyes and ask why now, where did we go wrong? But this rascal, this pariah of the medical fraternity, they still don't insaf. They are denial syndrome. They have got blood in their hand, and we, naturopath, we the alternative, we the one who dare to think otherwise. We are proud to say we were correct. We were right all along. Those rascals, they were wrong. They were wrong. We were right. Okay, that is my anger. I want to let go. Okay, the very 5 minutes I want to say to you is, I thought of a title: Inferiority and Superiority Complex. As I said just now, when I'm going tired, I'm thinking, never before in my life I thought about retirement. It's only a few months ago I started to, the word retirement sank into me. Those days I'm proud to say, I'm a naturopath, I'm a homeopath, I want to work beyond 90 years old, I want to cross the threshold of 100 years old and then live healthily. Only now I think retirement maybe. Okay. Inferiority complex. When we started off, or I started off 40 years ago, I had that, I must admit, I had that inferiority. Am I qualified enough? Have I learned anatomy and physiology enough to compare myself with the medical profession? Yeah, so much of inferiority. Those days, with naturopathy, I was the master of fasting. I was the first Malaysian to conduct fasting program. You all don't know my history. We conduct every weekend. I needed money. Therapeutic fasting. I know a lot about fasting, although I kept quiet. You asked me to talk about fasting, I can tell you a lot. The science of fasting. Raw food. I didn't believe in vitamin in those days. Raw food, raw, semi-fasting, regular fasting, healthy diet, chew properly, sunlight, grounding, breathing, and all that. So that was pure naturopathy. Hardcore. I was a hardcore naturopath. Didn't believe in. Of course, don't believe in drug or those biological medicine. I didn't even believe in supplementation. There was no need at all. By and by, as time goes by, I saw myself and those who took supplement and those who did not take supplement. And when I found out Dr. Rath and all that, then I believed in supplementation more and more and more. And today I'm hardcore.
Thank you.
Hardcore. Yeah. So as time goes by, my inferiority complex started to diminish. That feeling inferior, because I knew I was so confident, hardcore naturopath. By raw food, with fasting, with breathing exercise, with yoga, I should be able to keep my body fit and healthy, and I should be able to, treat patient the naturopathic way. With, of course, charge money one, not free one. And I was about to write a book, therapeutic fasting and naturopathic way, how to get whole, cure disease and reverse disease. And I'm that confident because I saw result. Nature Harmony was my clinic, and it was the naturopathic clinic in the whole Malaysia, where Prime Minister came, all the celebrities came, ambassadors came. I think Monica also saw me there, started first, at Nature Harmony. There. It was the clinic, and confident gain. Then I was invited to give talk. Newspaper always asked me, Chinese newspaper, English, Bahasa paper. Then TV3 also invited me. TV8 also invited me. One time I got into trouble when I was not so qualified to talk about gynae subject. And then one professor, I was speaking in Mandarin. I was 6:30 Mandarin, so I couldn't express well. And he complained to the TV8 and then got me into trouble. Then I went there. In the end, I had to defend myself and brought some scientific paper. I said, Dad, vitamin C, it helped. But then it created so much problem. After that, TV8 did not invite me. That was live. I was in TV3, Radio 3, RMIK, newspaper. If them ask about any subject or nature health, so that was, many of you did not know my background. So my inferiority complex diminished and feeling more superior, but I still had feeling something lacking in me, because my training in anatomy, physiology may not be that deep, but in terms of naturopathic principle, naturopathic principle, the hardcore one, that was my grounding. I got very firm footing with all this naturopathic. All those pretenders who, many of the, sorry, some of you, if you are a medical doctor, I don't mean you. If those doctors who slowly change into natural way, they are also using natural method and using vitamin, they're encroaching into our turf. Since 18 years ago, they started to come in by anti-aging when they were practicing anti-aging.
Yeah.
They were coming into our turf, but they don't have the grounding principles. So I had that strong grounding. So unshakable grounding, whereby when you talk about fever is good. Why go and suppress fever? We know healing crisis. We know hot, cold, and all that. You can bring up your stimulate your innate immune system. Hot bag, cold bag, breathing exercise, pranayama, yoga, and all this. You can stimulate your nervous system, muscular system, circulatory system, pathway of disease, pathway of cure, Herring's law of cure, law of the 7, healing crisis, yes, healing crisis. These are some of the naturopathic principles where I had very strong grounding, where pretenders, those who come halfway, they were indoctrinated in different schools, they come into the nature side without our fundamental training, fundamental principle. You are just, to me, you are 6:30. you are trying to practice natural medicine without understanding in depth all those naturopathic principles. Why you do this? How you want to get the result, the mechanism. So you are, to me, not well grounded. To me, you are inferior. Although the law recognizes you as the modality, the official, the legal, but still, in terms of deep-seated cure, a proper cure to reverse the disease to the ultimate end, you don't have it. Because if you are still using antibiotic, if you are still using some drug, some thinner, plus some vitamin, you are not going to get a proper cure. Whereas we, as naturopath, if you abide by all those naturopathic principles, as I did, I had that ability over you. I had that advantage over you. Why am I telling you all this? What I went through. 30 years ago, 40 years ago, they were calling me quack. When I was invited to the school, to the Rotary Club and the Lion Club, and sometimes even subsequently to hospital, subsequently to medical faculty, subsequently talking to a group of cardiologists, subsequently in Singapore, in Norma Hospital, you will say, Norma Hospital, Dato Laila Tai invited me to talk to a group of cardiologists on heart attack. Wong Ang Peng, a naturopath, talk to cardiologists on heart attack. My goodness, unthinkable, but it happened. But it happened in Kuching. Some of the doctors were still there. There's Dr. Sim and Dr. Ao Yong, cardiologists. They all heard my talk. I went to the cardiologist in Kuching. So I've gone that way from inferior. I slowly sunk, diminished the inferiority, and then feeling more and more superior. And as I took a course, Saraja and I took a course with CUCMS, Cyberjaya University. 6 months course, you were talking about MQL 6 months course. We went through that in deep anatomy and practice of medicine and so many other subjects. We went through, and I was the best student. Of course, major student, best student in the end. Anyway, as knowledge came in more and more, and I was able to read the blood test report using the scientific term, the medical term, proper term, anatomy, physiology, disease term, pathological name. So I was feeling more and more confident. And more so later on when I did research, and my research topic with University of Central Lancashire, my topic was on heart attack, and I conducted a study, a real proper study, and got it published. Yeah. And then subsequently, I got published paper. I was fortunate because I was with the Doctoral Health Foundation, and there are scientists and doctors and scientists, the PhD who have been working with the Nobel winners before. I was under their tutelage, and they were my mentor, and I was fortunate to get a good start. I was able to learn. I was able to learn to read scientific paper, write scientific paper properly. And I was so well grounded with naturopathic knowledge, with homeopathic knowledge, natural principles, with just all those important fundamental principles of naturopathy. I was able to cross the line from natural to scientific. I'm not saying naturopathy not scientific, only that you have to have the proper method of measure, proper method of the scientific knowledge progression, and then we say it's scientific, okay? So I was able to cross that barrier into the so-called scientific realm, the research, use proper language, proper term, proper disease thing, and able to get my summary of my paper on heart failure and heart attack, cardiovascular disease, published 9 papers, total 9 papers, which is a feat, very good. Many people with PhD don't even publish a single paper. So I had that advantage, and I felt more superior and more superior. Not proud. I'm not saying I'm proud, because pride will only come if I cure disease, cure patient. If I lose patient, I feel I'm terrible. I feel I'm a loser. So although all this knowledge and clinical experience and scientific knowledge came in, the superiority complex came in. And true enough, I told Prof. Chong just now, that table, I was invited to give a talk And heart attack, that was 1 year ago by Shaham. They organize every year. They organize talk, and it was the second day, and I was a second speaker. The first speaker was a cardiologist from Pandai Hospital. He gave a talk, of course, very nice picture and all those. How he did his all the special their protocol. Of course, 45 minutes and then over. I was a second speaker, and I also talk on heart attack. But I talk on a different theory. Of course, with Dr. Rat's theory, by vitamin C and lysine and protein, how it can, why heart attack happen. Heart attack is not caused by because of so-called high cholesterol. Heart attack is caused by weakening of the artery, and that weakening of the artery is because of lacking in collagen production and lacking in vitamin C.
Yeah.
And the doctors, specialist doctor, 300 of them, some over Zoom, some the room, they were clapping, they appreciated. Of course, some doctor, many of them use vitamin C. Of course, they will agree with me. But the fact here, the point here is a naturopath talk about heart attack, and second speaker, after a cardiologist has spoken, and the crowd, specialist doctors and all medical doctors, gave me full applause. That was a big yes to naturopathy.
Yeah.
I was carrying the flag then, and was of course at the time I was still the chairman president of NAM. I saw a past president, and my heart is still here. My flag is still naturopathic flag. So that superiority gain and gain and gain. Today, unlike 35 years ago, we are not called quack. 25 years ago, many of you here, I am with you here, we feel the inferiority complex because they continuously to call us quack. Today, that quack does not apply to naturopaths anymore. They more or less recognize. They recognize us as Anak Tiri, Brother Tiri, you are all second class, but we don't call you quack at least. 40 years ago, we had to face the shame of being called quack. You understand? We have come a long way. Why am I telling you this story about superiority and inferiority and superiority complexes? Because I want to give you motivation. It's not after you graduate, you are champion naturopath already. No. Your learning begins from there. You have to go on and on and on, and you feel more confident. You feel, baloi lah, I charge my patient money lah. $50, $20, 100 ringgit you charge also. Yes, earn it. You speak with confidence, not to let the patient lecture you. You teach the patient. You are the teacher. You guide the patient. Patients should not argue with you because many of them are champion. They got master's degree. They go serve the net. They become very champion already. Many today are like that. You must overcome that. By overcoming that, you have to learn. Your knowledge has to go. Your experience has to go. You must be well grounded in your naturopathic principles. Your knowledge must be good. Only then you tell off the patient. No, but of course with a heart, a loving heart, a kind heart to cure patient. I've come that way. I've come that route. So, yes, anytime if you want me to share, I will share. I love to share. I promise myself. Then I say I'll carry the naturopathic torch and the naturopathic flag. As much as I can do, I'm still motivated, still very grounded. Yes, we want to carry that naturopathic flag, and if you need my help, yeah, I can help. Okay. Because inferiority and superiority does not stir you in a very negative way, but to suck you to improve on yourself. That's my purpose. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. I think Doctor has told us that we have to leave by 9:30.
The buffet is going to close by 9:30.
But anyway, before we do, I think I
Take
need
your photo.
something. I think at least for the newcomers or those who have not seen the committee in person, okay, I should like to introduce my team here. Okay, Dr. Bhaskaran here. Vice President. So you see him in, okay, in real person. Okay.
Name again?
Dr. Bhaskaran.
Okay.
Bhaskaran Kosti.
And then I think we have the person who deal with most of you.
Yeah, most of the troubles.
And she has the worst job. Monica Ramaswamy. Okay.
Very
So-
important person.
So she's a very important person in the organization.
Yes.
And she has the worst job to do. Okay. And then I think we have committee members here, Peter Lau. Okay. Then we have Assistant Secretary, Honorary Secretary, Lina. So I think that's all I have because the rest, Justin, the rest are not here.
Yeah, Dr. Paul has got sick. He was
Yes.
supposed to be here. He was
That's
doing
right.
the webinar on the tax e-invoicing. Yeah, so he unfortunately couldn't come. And I couldn't have done it without Lina also because she's dealing with all the Ross Malay.
He's dealing with
She's into
the
thing.
submission I think
Yeah,
to
yeah.
Ross,
Yeah.
the Registrar of Society. OK，有人跟我讲一点华语哦，我的华语是 OK，
Can.
黑白色的啊，因为我是没有读过一个字华语都没有啊。I learn my Mandarin 是 from my patient。Because my patient speak Mandarin only and cannot speak English, cannot understand English. So for my practice, no choice. So, but it's all by ear. So if you ask me to read, I cannot read one. Okay, that's my Mandarin 哈。OK， 刚才你有看见我们的 team 了哈，那个我们的 Honorable Secretary Dr. Bhaskaran， 我的 Vice President. So I think when I retire down, you take over. And of course, Lina Su now is practicing traditional 那个TCM. So 她有帮忙很多。Okay, so for 你们那个新的来 ，Dr. Wong 讲的话是真正是有意思的，因为以前我们是真正对付那个。西医来讲我们是给他们看不起，看下来。
对。
现在我也是鼓励你们来Dr. Wong讲，你们是要 continue. The reason why I'm more confident also like Dr. Wong 是为我有这个 during COVID-19 is also a blessing because that time all the Ivy League university open up. Through short courses, they call it micro credential courses. So I actually did my cancer biology from Johns Hopkins. So I'm very blessed. So today I can actually talk to the oncologists in their terms because the courses I take from Johns Hopkins 是真正是 actually from their own faculty. From the own professors in the School of Medicine of Johns Hopkins. So what I said, at least I have my certification. So when those doctors, they all know about Johns Hopkins. When they heard that you are from Johns Hopkins, okay, at least you have a certification, they at least have some respect for you. Otherwise, they look at you like nothing. They think that they are so high. Because I work normal, I know. All the doctors have one kind of character. 他们有一个态度，当然是很 proud 的。
对。
你讲什么都是他讲 ，Who are you to talk to me about that？ 他是有一个态度这样。That's why I deal with them at the senior level， 我知道。Okay. Even among themselves, because my hospital director is only a general practitioner. And when he want to hold meeting with the specialist, he got problem because the specialist look down, even though he's a hospital director, they look down on his qualification. And sometimes because I was the senior to him at that time, assistant to him. So he actually asked me to talk to the specialist to come to the meeting. And I'm able to do that because nearly 1/3 of the specialists are my classmates. So I had the advantage. So I was quite prominent in Norma at that time because I was able to, whereas the hospital director cannot talk face to face to the specialist, but I'm able to talk to the specialist and get them to cooperate. So this is some of the things like Dr. Wong said, anatomy and physiology, pathology, all these are essential terms. Because yes, we can be grounded in our naturopathic principle, but we must be open-minded enough and humble enough to cross over into the basic science. Because I study anatomy and physiology and I learn a lot of it, because then you can interact your naturopathic principles with what this anatomy and especially the physiological part of it. And then when you do your treatment, you will understand how it functions even better than the doctor. Because when the doctor questions you why this patient can reverse the condition, they will ask you, can you explain? Not in your terms, but in their terms. And if you can explain in their terms, I can tell you they have respect for you. Because a case with me is this, one of the very famous newest medical center in Kuching. When I brought my auntie there, she's suffering from hormonal problems, actually due to a medical malpractice, actually. So when I did all the tests, the blood test ready already, and I have prescribed the thing, and one of the questions he asked me as an endocrinologist, the only one in East Malaysia, he asked me, how did you know all these tests? And how did you know the drugs to give? And combination of the drugs and certain things, because hormone you cannot do a lot of things about it. So he asked me this, and I said, I learned. And the surprising thing is this, that when they did a complete test of it, some of the final tests of it, he called me up and asked me to go to his clinic and ask for my opinion what to do with my auntie. And to me, I said, you are the specialist, I'm not. And this is also your patient. So why are you asking me? But to him is that he very much valued my opinion and very much respected me. So I asked him, I said, why don't we do one more test? He said, would you want to? I said, yes. Because this test will determine, because I suspect another area. And so when she completed the test and the result came out, and I was right. Because my suspect was that thing was there. And it confirmed, the MRI confirmed the thing was there. And to him, he said, yeah. So, but then he said, okay, what should we do next? Again, my question is, you are the specialist, not me, you know. You ask me, what should we do next? But there is a case like Dr. Wong say, when you have come to a certain stage, and then when you are open-minded enough, and you're bold enough, cross into their area, and you integrate it with what you have learned in naturopathy, you can actually do better. You can do better. And that's what we should be. And that's why now the KKM have a division called TCM, Traditional and Complementary Medicine, in the hospital now, because it's to complement. And that is the first step to recognition of our field. So I think that's it. Okay, good night.
Right.
Photo, we want to take a
Yeah, we
photo.
must have a good photo. Okay, don't leave yet. Come on.